With large swathes of the Earth's surface converted into the AI-powering infrastructure known as Turinium, the loss of the Moon to the post-human coalition was the last straw for humanity. In recognition of the threat of their extinction at the hands of a cabal of fully synthesized post-humans, the United States of America and Europe pushed aside long-held differences and joined forces with Russia, China and other world leaders to create the United Earth Force, or UEF. This momentous occasion is overshadowed by the severity of the threat humanity now faces, not just from the PHC, but from the artificial intelligence substrate too. The UEF make great use of infantry in their combined arms forces, and while they're often outgunned, what they lack in firepower they make up for with numbers. Even better, they wield the sum total of humanity's combined military experience accumulated over millennia of war. The UEF are adept tacticians and are masters of combined arms warfare. Every tool in their toolset has a critical role to play in battle. Whether mounting a daring raid on enemy resource structures, drawing an overconfident enemy into an inescapable trap with a carefully executed fighting retreat, or cowing their rivals with a classic shock and awe air campaign, the UEF know how to fight and win. Let's review some units that the UEF have at their disposal. Boots on the ground has been the core concept in humanity's war efforts since the dawn of time, and after integrating an incredibly effective infantry fighting doctrine from China's PLA, the UEF make great use of them to bulk out their combined arms forces in their wars against the PHC and substrate. With the Turinium Moon an ever-visible symbol of humanity's weakening grip on the solar system, recruits sign up in their thousands to join the war and reclaim their solar system. Infantry can be outfitted to face either soft or hard targets, and both types are often fielded together to protect one another. Small, slow and squishy, massed infantry nevertheless outputs a terrific amount of firepower, and provides so many targets that tanks and other single unit focused weapon systems struggle to effectively kill them all before they're overwhelmed themselves. However, they're vulnerable to swarm-sized opponents, are hard countered by artillery bombardments which will obliterate massed infantry formations with little effort, while bombers dropping high explosive ordnance will make short work of them too. But when properly supported by tanks and protected from artillery and airstrikes as part of a combined armed force, infantry can be absolutely devastating. They excel in defensive situations where they're less limited by their relative lack of mobility, but if properly protected can form an effective, if somewhat slow-moving assault force too. Infantry are recruited from the barracks. The Pathfinder is the UEF's dedicated reconnaissance vehicle with a good radar and long spotting range. This is the UEF's first choice for scouting the battlefield and is recruited from the motor pool. Its primary offensive and defensive capability is its relatively rapid movement speed, facilitating sweeping flanking maneuvers or quick reinforcement of beleaguered armies, although it's armoured enough to take a few knocks in those roles. However, it's not designed to stand up against any serious resistance and will usually only be included in dedicated fighting units to lend its excellent radar coverage to its host army. The Pathfinder is the UEF's primary choice for capturing less well-defended region nodes, but will often require assistance from the Leopard 4 when striking out further afield to claim regions with more substantial Guardian forces. The Leopard 4 4th generation main battle tank is the primary frontline fighter for the UEF and acts as the tip of the spear in any serious land engagement. These war machines are top of the line and the best that humanity has to offer at the start of the war, but one-to-one they're often outmatched by their PHC and substrate rivals, who wield phenomenally advanced technology. Nevertheless, they're strong in numbers, and UEF combat doctrine places this well-armed and armoured fighting vehicle front and centre in their efforts to reclaim territory from their enemies. When properly supported by infantry, artillery and air forces, it is very effective in these operations, and this glaring technological disadvantage is much lessened by their numerical superiority. With a 360-degree firing arc and the ability to track targets on the move, the Leopard 4 excels at the art of fighting retreat, luring the enemy out of position into ambushes and traps, delivering steady damage to its targets all the while. The Leopard 4 is recruited from the motor pool. With Russia as part of the UEF, their advanced second-generational warfare doctrines came to the aid of human survival. The Stormbreaker is the pinnacle of humanity's combined know-how in artillery technology. With exceptional range and devastating firepower, Stormbreakers make their enemies move. Only well-armoured fighting vehicles can survive such a barrage and still fight on effectively. A well-placed artillery barrage can force an opponent to split its forces, evacuate a position, or mistime a manoeuvre and create an advantageous opportunity for a combined arms force to exploit. When there's a heavily entrenched enemy site to assault and air superiority has not yet been achieved, The Stormbreaker is usually the first choice of equipment for the UEF. Its explosive rounds excel at killing infantry-sized elements and hardened structures, and it is recruited from the armory. The Orion missile tank provides a second land-based long-range attack option for UEF forces. Its advanced missile tracking systems can land a devastating payload on distant targets while keeping returning fire well out of range. When there's a hard target to bring down and taking it on up close and personal is not an option, the Orion's armor-piercing missiles will crack it open like a warhammer smashing an egg. Recruited from the armory, the Orion must be protected, as it cannot effectively defend itself if engaged at close range. But when used correctly, it can apply acute pressure to an enemy army, force maneuver, or snipe out high-value targets from a safe distance. The UEF must face down not one, but two technologically superior foes, hoping to win the day with multi-layered tactical ingenuity and sheer weight of numbers. These units are just some of what humanity has to offer.